All right, so we've got another war video today, and this is the fourth war of the season, and once again, I'm on full path 5. The way that my battle group plans, we pretty much trust people to do entire lanes unless if it's like a specific situation. And once again, I see Ebony Maw here. However, this war, we had the Untouchables tactic. It was actually the first time we didn't have high ground. So actually Ebony Maw is a little bit easier here. In the past, I've been bringing Human Torch, but now that I'm a little bit more comfortable fighting him after his buff, essentially you fight him the same way. I've decided that I didn't need to make the space for my 5-star torch, and instead I'm just using Dr. Doom because he's very useful on this path for me in general, and that he has the ability to weave in those heavy attacks pretty easily, as you can see. So at this point I'm kind of pushing him a little bit far, getting a little aggressive, but because I'm heavying him and I knew that I could sort of block and reparry and whatnot, I could get to that special 3. Which is pretty much going to finish him off at this point. We have fallen to tier 3, so this war is actually a little bit easier in terms of the amount of HP that they have. So a boosted rank 3 is really going to take care of business there. I may have been a little bit more conservative if we were still in tier 2, but as you can see, no need for torch there. Doom completely takes care of the fight. He never even threw a special. And next up we have Apocalypse going up against this Hit Monkey. And again, the main thing on this fight, which I have taken many times with Apocalypse, is I usually wait to knock him down by using a special 2. And I will say that this war was probably one of my sloppiest wars that I didn't die on. And I think a lot of it had to do with some just dumb mistakes I made with Apocalypse in many of these fights. Because in my head, I'm thinking this is easy, just bait the special 1s, which I'm very confident with. And then when I get to my special 2, I wanted to inflict a concussion so that it can kind of turn off some of his abilities. Otherwise, I would just kind of have to wait out his passives. So once again, we get another nice special 1 evade. He does have the recoil masteries. But as you can see, when I threw that special 2, I accidentally did it with the medium, which means it inflicted the degeneration and not the concussion. So that strategy didn't really work out, but it doesn't really matter because his passives, the 2 like monkey schemes or whatever they're called, they don't really last for that long and you can kind of just idle. So at this point, I'm just refreshing the debuffs with heavy because, you know, the fight's pretty under control and Apoc is so tanky. I'm not really too worried unless if I actually physically get hit, which I'm pretty confident I won't. And at this point, he's basically down, so I just throw one more special 1 and Hit Monkey goes down. So yeah, the thing with Hit Monkey is if you make one mistake and he gets a full combo on you, you are very likely to die. So he is a little tricky to fight. But overall, you know, if you play it safe and just avoid him when he has the passives, you should be in pretty good shape. So we're skipping ahead a little bit. This is node 25, which has Footloose, and continuing the theme of me throwing the wrong special with Apocalypse, you'll see what I do here. So once again, I'm thinking in my head, you know, the reason I chose Apocalypse is because he can get openings with parry very easily. So it just eliminates one aspect of this fight. It still has kinetic transference, it still has Footloose, but the nice thing about Mole Man is that his specials actually take a pretty long time, so the Footloose is almost completely over. So I do take some hits there, which is a little unfortunate. My playing against the wall could definitely use some improvement these days. And once again, I'm thinking, oh, this time I'll throw the special 2, I'll get the concussion on him, and that will turn off his abilities. But of course I'm an idiot and I forgot that there's force of will on this node. So obviously I'm a little new to doing the middle section of Alliance War because, you know, force of will has always been on this node. So at this point I just threw a special 2 which didn't put any effects on him. I should have done something different because there is no way to get a concussion. However, what my plan is now is to slow play the fight and to try to get some armor breaks on myself so that I can heal up and save some potions. I'm fairly confident fighting Mole Man in terms of his, his animations and how to bait the specials and how to get openings with Apoc here. So, as you can see, we get a little armor break healing there. And, just refreshing with heavies. His ability to not have his debuffs get shrugged is really the reason he's so good for this fight. Because it sort of eliminates all the annoying things about facing a Mole Man in general. And then because you have such control over the fight, you don't have to worry as much about stuff like Footloose and the Kinetic transference and everything. So getting close to the end, I refresh my poison and my weakness on him. And I'm thinking if I just wait out this special and I get one more combo, I should be good to go. And I am healing still from this armor break, so I'm just kind of stalling a little bit to get as close as I can to full health, bait the special, the heavy attack against the wall, and then he's down. So even though I did make a mistake, I was able to utilize the heal on the armor break to kind of get me going. So the next fight is kind of the main event in this video, because if you haven't heard, this node with Black Widow, Deadly Origins, and the Untouchables global is completely bugged. I've heard and I've seen videos that she will just evade you out of nowhere. And as far as I know, in her ability kit, there's no way for her to evade unless if she has the evade passive on her, which would happen after throwing a special 1, or it would happen after you miss. And obviously Apocalypse has no way of missing. So early in this fight, I did a ton of damage by landing my intercept and then doing as much damage as I could. So I'm in relatively good shape to be close to 50% with only 30 seconds in the fight. She has the protection on her. I know that if she does evade me with one of those BS evades, that it's going to be a little tricky to recover, because the Untouchables node will sort of like put another protection on her. So at that point, the chance of doing any damage is going to be very low. So there's the first time she evades. She just, in the middle of my heavy, as you saw, she didn't have any kind of evade passive, and yet there we go. It did begin to build up the evade resistance, which is nice. Once again, tried for the intercept and happens. And now the other thing to consider here is that because of this sabotage debuff, there's a chance that my parries are going to fail. So she has this sort of like protection on her from the node itself. She has this protection from Untouchables as well. Landed a nice reparry there, but we get another evade. And yeah, so she's got three evades so far, which she had no business doing. I'm starting to panic. I did get an intercept there, which is nice, so I'm just trying to get any type of damage as I can. Fortunately, that special 1 lands, so now I'm very close to being able to finish this fight, but I am assuming the worst, that she is going to somehow evade me again. See, there it said evade failed, and then she evaded again, so my resistance to evade is sort of coming in clutch, but not all the way, because it's only at 50% chance. So at this point, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to survive. I'm up against the wall, trying to land an intercept, man, because I'm doing 0 damage. She has 3 of those untouchable things on her. She has the protection from the ebb and flow. I have a sabotage debuff on me. It's just like everything is going wrong. And because she has the recoil tree masteries, she's doing a lot of damage on those shocks. But what happened there was I was able to land a light intercept, which was super clutch. Because she actually had a bar of power, and then I just sort of like intercepted her with my special 2, and that was enough to get her down. So I was very, very glad to get that fight over with, because it really could have gone either way, guys. And this node is super bugged. Keep bringing it up on Reddit and the forums and everything, because she should not be interacting that way, evading in these spots when like she totally has no reason to evade. So anyway, next up we have Nova. And I will say this fight was taken kind of like around dinner time. And I was a little distracted just by some things around the house. So I was thinking, it's Nova. It's only 5-star. I've got Doom. I'm boosted. It's going to be fine. I've done this fight a million times this season. But I get hit a lot in this fight. And it's kind of embarrassing. But at the same time, Doom is so tanky because of his crit resistance, and Nova really doesn't hit that hard that it ends up being fine. So you don't even really need to land your intercepts in this fight in order to do damage, but I did manage to get one. And then on the second try, I managed to get auto blocked. So I basically did 0 damage during that passive fury. And it kind of threw me a little bit because I start not being able to bait his special 1, which is something I'm usually quite comfortable with. But I'm dashing back too early. I get hit again. But just look at Doom, man. He doesn't take any damage because of that crit resistance. So it's definitely a little bit of a safety net that, you know, if this was a tier 2 war, I may have actually taken some damage there. If he had the high ground node, I probably would be taking more block damage. So yeah, anyway, I'm not very proud of this fight, but it is the last time that I have to use Doom, and I'm fairly confident even if I make like 10 more mistakes that I'm going to be fine. So even there, I did the Doom cycle incorrectly. I didn't do light, medium, medium after the first 2 mediums. So like, I don't even know what I was thinking. This is a really bad example of play because I have, like I said, I've taken this fight many times. I've taken it against 6 stars, and I've even taken it against, you know, with the higher ground node. And yeah, so now I'm finally getting these special 1 evades on point. Like I said, I'm not really worrying about the protection so much because Doom has enough damage to eventually get this down during the time. One quick tip is that you don't want to throw your special 2 when you have the aura up because unblockable specials do less damage against him. So if you notice, I waited for the aura to finish off, and then I threw that big special 2. It did a lot more damage, and at this point he's basically down. I just need to get one more opening and he should be good to go. So yeah, even with absolute terrible play, I don't show how many times I got hit, but I seriously got hit like 5 to 6 times on that fight. Doom gets the job done, and you know, because it was only a 5-star, it was no problem. So I brought Ghost in just for this one fight. Once again, it's got the ebb and flow intercept business going on. This fight used to be really rough when you had the redoubled determination stuff going on, and I wouldn't have recommended Ghost at that point. And you know, I am a decent Ghost player. I'm not the greatest Ghost player. I did get an armor break on me, but I was able to get it off of me just in time. So I'm trying to build up to this special 2. I don't have Wasp, so I like to hold block right before I throw it. And because I've converted some of those poisons, that was a very big special 2 for a 5-star. I know I'm going to survive the fight. Again, I had the armor break, but it comes right off. It's not that big of a deal. If I can just get to this special 2, he's going to go down in less than a minute. And once again, we kind of hold block, intercept, bait is heavy, throw that off, 43k damage. Not bad for a 5-star. And I am hopefully looking forward to get my Ghost to rank 3, my 6-star eventually. So kind of a nice little preview of what is to come if I end up getting that Ghost up. So now it's time for the last fight. It's my 7th fight. And once again, I've just made so many mistakes this war. I forgot to heal up Apocalypse before I boosted. So I had to use 6 of these potions, and I'm going to let his awakened ability regen me a little bit because I did take 2 fights without him, but that's just like a real noob mistake. So anyway, I have my 4 charges with Apocalypse, and my strategy here was advanced power boost. And what I wanted to do is throw off this special 1 to put the poison on him, which would activate the polka dot power, and it would take off the stunning reflection. So I am able to bait a heavy, and now polka dot power is giving me a little bit extra power, which is kind of nice. And now that I am close to 2 bars, I'm going to throw my special 1. Because I have 4 charges, I finally don't have to worry about my combo, and I don't make a mistake. I actually do the right thing there, and because I have the poison, the stun timer is down. Because of polka dot power, I am still gaining power, and as long as I can land a heavy attack, I can refresh that poison. And the goal is to just always make sure that I have a bar of power ready so that I am able to throw it and get more debuffs on him. So at this point, I lose my debuffs. I almost got the refresh there, but it just ran out. And the polka dot power put me onto a special 2 there, but I threw it into his unstoppable. I started spamming dash back so that I didn't get punished there. Unfortunately, it worked out. So that could have been a very costly mistake, but fortunately, spamming dash back allowed me to avoid getting punished. I do have these debuffs on him now, so I've got all 4, so those specials are doing a lot of direct damage. And I know at this point the fight is basically won, even if I just bait his specials and hit him with normal attacks. So yeah, I chose Apoc for this fight because I knew that the debuffs wouldn't get shrugged. I knew that he's a tank and that he could eventually get him down, and that fighting Kingpin is very easy stun immune because, you know, he used to be an AQ boss and his special 1 is super easy to bait. So even if I only relied on basic hits, I would have totally been fine. So anyway, that was about as sloppy of a war as you could ask for, to have like 7 kills and no deaths. But either way, I had a little bit of fun on this war, and I hope you enjoyed the commentary in the video, and we will catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.